FareShare has made a huge difference to North East Lincolnshire. FareShare has delivered £818,000 over a 10-year period. It's enabled us to engage with local people at grassroots level. Those people have been encouraged to create their own organisations within their community, and we've also helped businesses to start. Organisations such as eFactor and other partners and North East Links Council have been involved in the project, and they've brought in business startup and economic development into those areas as well. There's a whole variety of projects that have been initiated by FareShare funding, projects working with the homeless, projects that bring communities together, sports projects, media projects, and projects that have enabled young people to become engaged in creating their own newspaper, for instance. So there's a whole series of projects that are making a difference and will continue to make a difference in North East Lincolnshire.
The FareShare programme has provided a fantastic opportunity for residents, volunteers, groups in the voluntary and community sector to work alongside partners from the local authority, the police, the fire service, ourselves, to come together who wouldn't normally work together and share their experiences for the benefit of the community. Ultimately, the investment in the programme has been for the benefit of the residents and people who volunteer and work in that community, and the legacy that it leaves behind is for some of the programmes like Harbour Place, who work with the homeless people, to go on and secure other funding based on the experience they've had in the FareShare programme.
Vanel itself was the manager of the community development process on the West Marsh and on the East Marsh as well. So when there was a change on the West Marsh about how the community development process would work, then I actually took over for the final year of the process to make sure that we got a consolidated approach to how people were working together on the West Marsh ward. And to that end, then we produced a community plan which gives people a sense of where what they're doing helps the community as a whole.
In addition to our own project, which funded a development worker for the West Marsh, other projects included supporting Harbour Place with homelessness people, giving them an opportunity to have a development worker, a coordinator for their volunteers. It also supported neighbourhood development work in general, including a community recycling project by Community Chest, and that enabled them to open a new shop on Freeman Street and able to promote their services, to have a shop front, if you like, access to sell their services to the community members.
East Marsh Involve are a local resident group who have used the FareShare funding to employ a full-time development worker, to spend a major portion of its funding on providing individual youth support and activities, and to support the community group East Marsh Involve to build them to a level of sustainability where they can then move on following the ending of FareShare funding by the securing of big lottery funding. And finally, final thing is, it's supported a wide range of community organisations wherever that community organisation needs the support.
The FareShare panel in itself is made up of representatives from the community, from the East Marsh and West Marsh community, from our targeted areas where the money was intended to make a difference.
The FareShare funding panel considers a number of community-led funding applications. The panel itself is made up of residents as well as people who work within the third sector and representatives from other sectors as well, which means that we've been able to fund a wide range of projects which are both based in the community and work for the community. So for example, the resident-led group East Marsh Involved in the East Marsh, West Marsh Forward and the West Marsh have been funded, and the development workers who've helped to drive those forward have also been funded.
We've been able to use the funding for three major strands of work. One was the employment of a full-time development worker. The second was to provide the support to build the individual residents who became the leaders of East Marsh Involve itself. Also, we've used that in a voluntary basis to support the volunteers that have come forward. And finally, one of the major things we did, we used FareShare funding to offer individual young people the opportunity to do things that they ordinarily wouldn't be able to do inside the East Marsh. Brief example being that we paid for a group of young people to be qualified to become fishing instructors. As a result of that funding, they now train young people to do that themselves.
In terms of the youth funding, as a really good example, there was a basketball group set up called Snap Rats, who started off with 12, 15 kids involved, wanted to sort of get their group together. We managed through the fair share funding to find them £500 to buy their kit and that sort of stuff. They're now up to 58 young people from the West Marsh who have joined that group, and other people from around North East Lincolnshire have joined too.
The smaller projects, the visits that young people have made, the visits that we've helped to fund for old people who have gone out on trips and things like that, they're the things that often get forgotten in these big sort of big money projects. But we've done those big projects, but also we've done the small things as well. It's the small things that make a difference to people's lives in our community. So hopefully we've been able to deliver that as well.
East meets West provides an opportunity for individuals and organisations to tell residents in the two areas the successes that they've had, what events are actually coming up, and as simple as it is, a page on the back of how to contact the people that can make a difference in your lives.
East meets West would typically look a publication that's glossy. The front cover will usually have a photograph which will be probably a landscape shot somewhere in either the East or the West Marsh in Grimsby. We usually have contact information about the project in the inside cover. The back cover has useful telephone numbers for residents, and the rest of the information will be around activities that have gone on in the area. So there might be a report on a fun day or a fair, and then there might be information which is pertinent to a particular organisation that operates in these two areas.
Community magazine was a great opportunity for residents on the East and West Marsh to have their say about what it was like to live there, also to write their stories, their experience of working with the projects that were funded. It was an opportunity for the projects that were funded through the Fair Share panel to actually talk about the work they did and promote themselves more effectively.
Fair Share funding provided the motor project with the opportunity to offer Saturday morning classes doing woodwork. We do planters, wheelbarrows, wishing wells. We also do a Monday evening where we work on motorbikes, cars. We give them practical skills. They also have got an environment where they can enjoy themselves, get more confident. I mean, we get a lot of people that come in and don't say a word, and 3 weeks later you can't shut them up. It gives them just that confidence to meet more people. I mean, over the years, the lasting contribution we've made to the community is that the people we've learnt these skills are passing them on now to other young people. The disciplines also with manners have helped them again progress. All this we wouldn't be able to do without the Fair Share funding. I think if anyone wants to get involved in a community project, instead of just saying I want to get involved, I want to go out there and do it, there's a lot of organisations out there who need volunteers. A very good way of getting into a project is volunteering, seeing what it's all about, helping out. I mean, also, there's a lot of older generation who have got lots of skills that people are forgetting and can pass them on to the younger generation. We've had many success stories. We've got people coming through a door who were 8 and 9 when they left us, and now they're 18, 19. They've got apprenticeships, they've gone to college. We've got a couple gone to university. All come and say how much they enjoyed what they've done and how they would like to get involved with projects themselves. Fair Share funding has helped this project develop. It's also kept it going. Without the funding, we would have really struggled. The future we don't know, but what we can say is in the past, without this funding, we may not have been here.
The projects here that we've had funded, we've had a receptionist for 3 years, we had a handyman for 2 years, then we took on the development worker based here, but also linked with his job was the centre's manager here, and that lasted for 3 years as well. We've had money from the youth side of things, which was for the dancing and the football, and it's brought on 1 or 2 people within the centre on personal training. The West Marsh Centre, we have some football coaching which was delivered through the Fair Share project. It paid for one gentleman to go on to the youth games and gain the experience of delivering that type of thing. We've also had money for our dance troupe. They've bought some equipment from, they've bought some t-shirts from, etc. And the other money, a lot of it has gone on just development of the centre. By getting the centre more upskilled, we was able to go for things and keep this place going.
West Marsh have been involved with Fair Share for as long as I can remember. I've been on the panel for, I think it's 2 years now, 2 or 3 years actually, and obviously the organisation, most things that happen at the centre gets funded by Fair Share. Like I know that like the garden has had some funding from Fair Share, I've had some funding from Fair Share myself. I know that the youth side of obviously the Fair Share is, the youth side of the centre is actually funded by some of the Fair Share funds as well.
What it's done for this area, it's done a lot for the youth, and personally when we talk to panels we get to know what other people are doing, we can put our ideas to, and they give us some good information and advice.
If you want to get involved in the community, just go straight ahead and do it. I'd say just go in, ask about volunteering, and then obviously the rewards will come afterwards, so they won't come straight away. But the things that I've got out of it is my own football team, football sessions, and obviously the relationship with the community and respect that I've earned myself. See, nothing's obviously just come to me on a plate. I've had to obviously go for it all.
Overall, it's been a tremendous help, the Fair Share panel and the Fair Share funding, for the sustainability of this centre.
Fair Share has actually helped me develop as a person. It's given me more confidence within myself, and obviously without it I don't think obviously I'd be as confident as what I am.
Our organisation is Harbour Place Day Centre, and we're a drop-in centre for the homeless and other socially excluded groups in North East Lincolnshire. We've had Fair Share funding for 6 years actually, over 2 sessions, and it's made a huge difference to our organisation.
The Fair Share funding has helped us with the volunteer project and the sustainability of Harbour Place itself, and without that funding we would never have been able to achieve what we have done. We're quite a successful charity in our own right. We won the National Lottery Award for Best Charity in association with Woman magazine, and that was quite a feather in our caps, and again it just proves the professionalism of this organisation. And without that Fair Share funding we could not have kept our staff, and we could not have kept our volunteers around us, and I think that's a major contribution to this area.
Fair Share funding has been able to increase our sustainability for the future by allowing us to train our volunteers to such a high standard. They're there now with those skills that can go out into the community and help move us forward. It's also helped with raising our profile. We get out there to so much more people now. More people know we're here. We're able to support so many more people because of Fair Share funding.
The main beneficiaries from the Fair Share funding, well, without any doubt, are over. We have 20 volunteers in total. We have 3 in the centre at on any one day minimum, and so all of those 20 people have greatly benefited from the Fair Share Trust funding.
We've been able to make a lasting difference within the community by providing a team of volunteers who are very skilled, very knowledgeable with the client group, and that has had a knock-on effect because we've been able to get several of our volunteers into full-time paid employment, which has obviously made a great difference to the area.
The success of the funding has been that a variety of groups have managed to keep going within West Marsh, but also that they're starting to look at their own development and what they might do in the future rather than just ticking over. And so we've got people whose confidence is growing all of the time, and they will actually be able to sort of supply things to the community that normal service provision wouldn't even have thought of.
Fair Share has been a great opportunity for this area. It's allowed us to showcase and build the experience that we've all benefited from as sponsored projects. It's also helped us to build the panel, a breadth of representatives from both community residents, through community groups, volunteers, to organisations that operate in the area that probably wouldn't work together normally. So that's been really successful. And the outcomes for some of the projects who have gone on to secure additional monies on the back of their Fair Share investment, that's been great for them too, like Harbour Place, Community Chest and the East Marsh Involved programme. Absolutely super.
The project's been extremely successful in North East Lincolnshire. It's recognised by the Community Foundation Network as a flagship project. We've been on time with all of our projects. We've been on time with our spend, and our spend profile's been right all the way through the project. And we're really proud of what's been achieved here in North East Lincolnshire.